We had a couple different options, triggers to get guys into the paint. We didn't get to another situation, but you know what? We'll take that shot. He's been making those. It's an open shot in the fourth quarter. It didn't come down to that. There were more plays going down the stretch, turnovers, random possessions, or we didn't get to what we wanted to, like that. We didn't get the shots that we wanted to, and some of those loose balls, offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, really hurt.
Erik, from about that 7-minute mark, they seem to take a little bit of control on some of the things you mentioned. Can you think back, thinking back now, what was the cause for some of that offensive efficiency?
We had some poor possessions. There's nothing really you can point a finger on right now until I go back to the film, but there were a couple uncharacteristic turnovers. 3 of them really in the fourth quarter, uncharacteristic, and then probably 3 or 4 possessions where we didn't get organized into what we typically get into, and the ball didn't go where it needed to go.
And you had the lead for a lot of the game, but you were never able to get any spread on them.
Well, that might be the series. Come on, this is the finals. I mean, it's elite basketball right now, and there's not a large margin for error either way. We had some empty possessions that it cost us. If we execute the way we typically do going down the stretch, we probably have enough. Both teams are held well below their average. They got their normal. I mean, we could live with some of the actions they got going down the stretch, but we just weren't very good offensively.
Tim in the front.
Tim Reynolds, Associated Press. Erik, as Tom asked you to, when you had a comfortable lead, just never a big lead, but you held it kind of throughout the game. When they went on there a little bit of the run in the fourth, did you notice any sense of panic, any sense of what to do next, any sort of
not necessarily
uncertainty?
No, we've been in every situation. During the year we had 15, 20 games where we were down by 10 and had to find a way, or up and then lose a lead. I mean, we've been in every situation you can. That's not an excuse. We just didn't execute, and they did. And they're really it came down to a handful of possessions, and those possessions are up for grab. Whoever makes those plays wins the game, and they did.
And to follow up, obviously San Antonio doesn't turn the ball over very much. That's a trademark of a pop team, but to only get 4, I mean, can you imagine something like that, the way you guys turn people over?
They take care of the basketball well. We defended them actually okay. They shot 42%. It wasn't for a lack of effort. Some teams just move the ball better. But our turnovers in the fourth quarter and a couple of those loose ball offensive rebounds really hurt us.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Erik, can you take us through the final possession with Tony Parker and just the ups and downs within that possession?
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. That seemed like a 26-second possession, but they played it all the way through, and that's probably what this series is about. It's going to go down to the last 1/10 of a second. Every single play you got to push through all the way to the end. We didn't. He was able to scramble. There was a couple loose balls where it might have been able to be an opportunity to make it a jump ball, and then he just broke through. You can't leave it to chance, even if it's right there at the end of the clock, a body in front. Hopefully you try to make him shoot over the top. But he made a tough play. I mean, that doesn't guarantee anything. He made a tough play, and you have to give him credit for that.
The fact that it was LeBron that was in front of him at the very end, leaving his feet, is there any other better scenario for you than to have LeBron James in that spot at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why this series is great theater. You have a lot of compelling, not only team matchups, but individual matchups.
Last for Joe, Michael, and Ethan.
The stretch in the fourth quarter without a field goal, especially the turnover by Mario Chalmers and the 24-second violation, did they change anything up there, or is that just a simple fact?
Both teams are defending. Not necessarily it wasn't an adjustment. We just didn't get organized into what we wanted to, and we paid the price for that big time.
Michael?
Erik, how much do you sort of resist the urge to overcompensate and adjust on Tony Parker when they have so many different playmakers that can obviously come through in the end?
It'll still come down to doing what we do, doing it better. We'll have to get into the film to see areas we can adjust. But again, against a very good basketball team, you hold them to 42%. You hold them to 92. Normally, with our offense, we think we're in the driver's seat. But there's a small margin of error both ways, and you got to make plays every single possession. And when you don't, concentrate on the things that you need to, you pay the price. Both teams do. They pay the price too, during the course of the game, and we just have to regroup. We've been through a lot, and we've shown resolve and toughness, and now we just got to get back to work and make sure we're doing better all the way through to the last 100th of a second.
Last one here in the front.
Ethan Skolnick, Palm Beach Post. Eric, you played him even at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but we haven't seen you go without Dwayne or LeBron on the floor together at the same time much recently. What was the thought process behind that?
They both just needed a breath, and it was a quick one for LeBron. So that was the deal, and Chris was able to hold the fort. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.